Welcome back to another video on ARK Survival Ascended official PVE Valguero. In this video we're going to beat Alpha Grendel, the boss on Valguero. We are taking in a UD with a 124 saddle, 16k health and 6k stam. We're taking in 12 theories with each a 124 saddle and they have 15k HP and 400 to 600 melee. These are tamed in the wild with the 30% imprint bonus skill from the skill tree. They also have 23 veggie cakes each. All our theories have 124 saddles, but I'll get back to that later. We brought 3 Dinotheriums, each 15k health and 400 to 600 melee. And every herbivore that we brought in has 23 veggie cakes. We also brought 2 Deinonychus with each a 70 armor saddle, around 3k HP and 300 to 400 melee. Every creature that's ridden also has wyvern milk. More about that later. The Deinonychus riders also have a spring drakeling with them. For this fight you need 4 artifacts: Brute, Gatekeeper, Destroyer and Crag. You also need 2 Gigahearts, 10 Sarco skins and Titan Boa Venom, 15 Rex Arms, Aloe Brains and RG Claws. If you do not know how to get these artifacts, I also have videos on how to get those. When we spawn into the fight, we wait a little bit for everyone to load in and we whistle the team. I'll be giving a lot of information here and then I'll just let the video play. The Grendel boss does bleed damage and has Deinonychus around that also do bleed damage. Having 124 saddles helps for that initial regular attack and the pounce that the boss sometimes does when the red beam is on the floor. But other than that, you're 95% fighting against the bleed damage. You might even be able to do this fight with prim saddles. I just recommend extra veggie cakes if you use theories. If you're solo, I highly recommend riding the Deinonychus and skipping the UD buff. The theories will make it with enough cakes. That way you can do bleed on the boss and speed up the fight. Our UD died very quick, so we didn't even have to buff half of the time. So I'd say 18 theories, and if you're using prim saddles, at least 30 veggie cakes. And wyvern milk for your Deinonychus. In this fight you gotta ignite the pots whenever they're glowing for the boss to come back. If you're solo, I would just leave your team behind, ignite the fire, go back to your team while having the wyvern milk to get rid of all the bleed damage that you get. After you hit a pot, it's damage phase time, until the boss jumps up and starts doing pounces. He will do pounces where you see the red beam. In this phase you can't do damage and you're better off taking out all the smoked Deinonychus until a new pot starts glowing. In the gamma fight I constantly jumped off to ignite the pots, but you can just hit these spots with your melee attack. So right now the boss is doing its pounces and we wait till one of the pots start glowing. I always put my team on aggressive and when the boss spawns I whistle them towards the boss. Here you can see one of those glowing pots. Now my tribe mate already hit it and the boss spawned on our team. Sometimes it spawns on you and then you gotta lure it back to your team. And now it's damage phase time. During the fight our UD got absolutely obliterated and even with the wyvern milk it died. This is because wyvern milk has a cooldown and everything in this arena focuses the UD like crazy. Another reason to go on the Deinonychus instead of a UD if you're solo. Spring drakeling is also recommended to use on the Deinonychus if you decide to ride that. I will not be taking in another UD into this fight, they die too quickly and I'd rather have another damage dealer then. Our UD died quick, but our Dinotheriums stayed alive with their veggie cakes. Dinotheriums also give an outgoing damage buff and incoming damage resistance. The cool thing about Dinotheriums is that they do these buffs even unridden. You can see these buffs in the top right corner. For a full Dinotherium buff you need 1 male and 3 females. We only brought 1 male and 2 females. The buff for outgoing damage is nice, but the reduced incoming damage buff probably doesn't do much since it's mostly bleed that you're trying to survive, and I don't think buffs work against this. One more thing about the Deinonychus. The Deinonychus riders try to stay out of the fight as long as they can until the boss spawns. When it spawns, they do bleed damage on it and they dip out of the fight again. If you're solo and you're doing 18 Theries, 1 Deinonychus and a Spring Draken, I highly recommend waiting for the boss to spawn, whistle your team to attack, do some bleed and dip out. Let your team do the rest. Otherwise, your Deinonychus might die, because Deinonychus aren't strong at all. And you do not do bleed on the Deinonychus in the fight, neither. So I would highly recommend hit the pot, whistle your team to the boss, bleed the boss, dip out, let your team do the rest. And rinse and repeat. This is all the information I got on this fight. I will let the video play out and give some more information about health loss, etc. at the end of the video. Also, if this video is helpful, please leave a like or a comment. It helps out loads and it tells me if I'm doing a good job or have to change something in my videos. Thanks in advance. Enjoy the video. there we go. Alpha Grendel defeated. From Alpha you get 520 elements, the Alpha head and a flag. The Theris and Denotheriums used up about 20 cakes out of the 23. Hence why I say Trim saddles would at least equal 30 veggie cakes each to make it. But I'd also say the more cakes the better, because if you have more veggie cakes, your team will stay alive longer. One of our Theris died due to it being solo, away from the team, and couldn't handle all the Deinonychus alone. If you're solo, I highly recommend whistling your Theris, all on one Theri. That way they will always get back to one another. Thank you so much for watching this video. A like or a comment is highly appreciated, and I'd love to catch you in the next one.